or what do you need to know for you to be able to write a program using that programming language or using any programming language. So these are the things you need to know for you to be able to write program in any programming language. So in our previous episode, we discussed about what is programming, and you understand that you need a programming language for you to be able to program your computer. So let's assume you choose a programming language or you do not choose, but what should you know or what do you need to know for you to be able to write a program using that programming language or using any programming language? So these are the things you need to know for you to be able to write program in any programming language. The first thing we need to know is data variable and data type. You have to know how to store a data and how to retrieve the data, and what kind of data did you store. You get the point. So variable in programming, it just means a simple storage. It just means a storage where we store data. And which kind of data did we store is called data type. So we have different types of data. We have number data type, we have text data type, and then we have true or false data type. So in programming, we call them number is divided into two. We have integer and floating point, and then text in programming is called string, and then true or false in programming is called boolean. So depend on which data have you stored inside your variable. And then moving on, we have operators. So in programming, you might need maybe you need to do some calculations, or you want to compare some value, or you wanted to store some value. So all those things are happening using operators. If I wanted to add two numbers, definitely we use arithmetic operators like 2 plus 2, 4, 5 plus 5, 10, something like that. So it's the same thing in programming. You need arithmetic operator for you to be able to perform arithmetic operations. And then to compare values, for example, I wanted my computer to understand that 10, or maybe I'm going to ask my computer to compare that. Is 10 greater than 5? Then in this case, we use a different kind of operator. We call it comparison operator. Is operator we use to compare. And you all know this kind of operator is greater than, less than. So you need to know we have so many different types of operators that you need to know. You need to know arithmetic operator, comparison operator, assignment operator, logical operator, membership operator, and other operators that I did not even mention. So when you know all those operators, then including your variable, you are moving ahead. So moving on, we have data structure. Data structure is a way where we store a lot of data. For example, in a variable, you can only store single value, but using data structure, you can store sequence of value, sequence of elements, where you can be access them using their index, or we call it address. So assuming I store like thousand of, or maybe I store like thousand of elements, instead for me to store them in a single variable, I can only store single value. And for me, instead for me to create like hundreds of variables, I can just create a one variable, and I call it, for example, like fruit. Then I store mango, banana, whatever. I store a lot of elements inside. So this is the data structure. We have different kind of data structure, but mostly common programming language, they usually come with single data structure, which is array. Mostly like C++, it come only with array. But some other programming languages might come with so many different types of data structure. Like Python come with that dictionary, list, and some others. So when you know data structure, then you move on to what we call a flow control. Flow control, we have different subtopics inside. You have to know conditional statement, loop, and functions. So let me start with conditional statement. When you know conditional statement, is going to guide you on how to give your computer instructions to do something based on condition. Let's say you create a program that will compare two values, and you want, if that comparison is equal, you want your computer to do something. If the comparison is not equal, then you want your computer to do something. So you might do something like if 2 is greater, or maybe if 2 is equal to 3, then do something. Else it's not, they are not equal, then do something different. So in programming, this is what we call condition, or we call it conditional statement. So when you know conditional statement, then you can move on to what we call looping. Looping, in simple term, just means repetition. This is what we call looping in programming. Whenever you hear the word looping, means repetition. So if you want your program to keep repeating some tasks, then you might need a looping. So then moving on, we have a function. Function is like when you have a lot of instructions, but maybe, let me put it in a simple term. Let's do it this way. Assuming you have a lot of books separate all over your desk. So instead of leaving all those books separate all over your desk, you can just take all the book and put them in a single bag. So that bag will act as a function to all of those books. So it's the same thing with program. I hope you understand. Each single book, it means an instructions, or maybe a task that you give to your computer. So you collect all of those tasks and then put them in a single bag. So that bag is called function. So I hope you get the point. So when you know functions, then the next thing you have to know is modules. Modules is going to teach you how to work with other programmers program. When you maybe wanted to create like a game, so you don't need to start everything from the scratch, because maybe another programmer has already created that kind of game. So what you need to know is to go to the internet and take his program and use his program and add something. But you are not going to take it like literally and copy it and paste it in your folder. No, we use something what we call module. You just have to import it. You just say, okay, pip install. That means you are installing that person program in your computer. Then you will use something like import or export or anything, include everything. Then you will include his program inside your program. So when you know all of those things, you can be able to program a computer and ask computer to do stuff for you. So when you know a lot of those things, there are a lot of other things for you need to know. Hello guys, this is MK Muubii. I'm embarked in a journey where I'm going to teach you beginners out there to become an actual programmer, where you can be able to create a web application, games, and AI are latest stuff to technology, and even how to secure yourself and how to do some maybe hacking. But I'm joking. But if this really sounds interesting to you, you can join me where I can teach you from zero to an actual programmer, where you can be able to create a web application. But if you really want to know more, subscribe to this channel and let's move on together.
It sounds delicious, baby.
Ga wani matashi da ya taso da hopes da dreams na zama wani abu a rayuwa. Kash, amma sai dai rayuwa ta zo da